Well, week 3. I was already struggling last week, and this week was even worse. Had a lot going on this week, and a lot of sickness in the family, in the house, and just things didn't go as planned. A lot of back and forth, driving and such. But I guess I'll take this week to kind of really go into what my plan is, I guess, for this project. So I kind of started off is I kind of just wanted to have a place where I can just share my life, my adventures, kind of just things that happen organically and sometimes spontaneously, and kind of just keep them as make it like a video documentary of just the weird things that happen in my life and the cool things and not so cool things. Another thing I wanted to do on this channel is give my insights on things that are happening, around me, the daily life stuff, the things happening locally, things happening at the state level, things happening at the national level, international level, and I wanted to be able to just give my insights on it. I didn't want to make this a political thing. I don't want to sway any way direction. I'm always been kind of a straight down the middle kind of guy, and I kind of wanted to keep that approach in this matter. Like this week we have passed January 20th, and the president is now in office. The new president's now in office. And again, I'm not going to go over, everybody has their own opinions, and we're entitled to those opinions. It's not my place to try to make you change your opinion. I'm not going to do that. Another thing that I wanted to work on this project was I wanted to provide some education, going over some of the life lessons that I've learned. So if there's anybody who's comes across a situation in their life that maybe that I have already been in, or have some direction that could help out with some insight. I wanted to be able to share those things that I've learned, and how I learned them. Tell the stories of how I learned them, and I want to be able to make those teachable moments, and maybe possibly help somebody down the line in the future. And I wanted to do a lot of storytelling in this. Tell stories of some of my crazy ass life stories that, sometimes they just seem so unbelievable that nobody would believe me. And I think it would be fun to share some of those stories. So far in the last couple of weeks, I've shared, the fact that I went to, out west to fight fires, and that's a big deal right now with the wildfires happening in California and Arizona right now. Nobody's talking about those, but yeah. So another thing I want to do is I wanted to set some goals in my life going into this year, and that I really wanted to focus on. And in these goals, I have a few goals. I wanted to focus on things that are important for me at my age now. Health goals. My physical health is starting to slip a little bit. I've gained a lot of weight over the last few months, and I hate myself for it. And hopefully, when things get warmer, it's hard to be motivated when it's negative 15 degrees out in the morning when I get up to go to work. Really hard to be motivated in that. But I also want to focus on mental health, which is something that my generation has struggled to talk about. And not just my generation, men of my generation. We grew up with the mentality of, just suck it up, or, it's a horrible thing. And in having that, it has a, that mentality has done well for me in my life. I've learned to compartmentalize a lot of the things. Working in fire and EMS for many, many years, I was able to separate that from my real life. And for better or worse, I've carried no PTSD in my life, and and it's something that I wish I could just easily teach people. I can discuss it and I can tell you how I do it, but I don't know how to tell you how to do it. And I think that's a big deal. The second goal in my life I really wanted to focus on is my financial goals. It's I have when I changed careers last year, 2023, it left me in a financial mess. And knowing that it was going to do that, it was just a change of pace of life. I felt like I was getting stagnant, and I needed to swap it up and do something different. In doing so, I was just kind of starting to get caught up, and then things happen. It is. But I also have an opportunity to kind of reset that every spring with my commercial fishing that I do, which we'll get into that as we go. It's one of my side hustles, I guess we'll call it. Speaking of side hustles, that's my third goal of this year. Is I wanted to really put some focus onto my other side hustles. My DJing. I really want to get out there, get myself out there, get more gigs. I don't mind doing the karaoke. It's not the most rewarding thing. I'm not doing that for me. I'm doing that for the financial side of it. But my goal is to be able to practice my stuff. You can kind of see it behind me. It's blurred out just because I'm trying to be fancy and artsy. But I want to be able to grow on that, use that equipment, and possibly get into a gigs. Doing spinning music that I enjoy. The first of the year, I was able to do a DJ set at a local bar for a New Year's Eve party, which was a lot of fun. And it was dancey, but it was something that I really enjoy doing, and I wanted to keep doing, and I want to do more of that. I also like to mention that, like I said, I do name that tune trivia every other week now. I've kind of moved it to every other week just because I wanted to have time to focus on this and other things that are going on. I want to grow that. I want to expand that to other places around the area. I feel I have a very unique way of doing it, and a way that I've never seen it done. I inherited this way from the previous person who was doing it. I really liked the way he was doing it, so I decided to keep doing it that way. And I'd like to see it expand into the other areas. It's a lot of fun. It's something for everybody, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do that. And the other thing I wanted to work on is I'm calling it. So my fourth step is I'm calling it relationship goals. And I'm not talking just necessarily with, my girlfriend, or I'm more specifically talking about relationship with people. In my older age, I've become a little bit more of a social butterfly, and trying to be more sociable. Being an introvert most of my life, it was a thing that was hard to do at sometimes, and I wanted to be able to focus on that. I do want to focus. Taking a step back, I do want to focus on my relationship with Courtney. I do want to do everything I can to make her happy and make us happy and move forward into our lives. Focus with my family. My family's growing. I have, my second grandchild. My granddaughter's due next month, and mom and dad, have. I guess they're ready. I don't know. Are you ever ready for your first kid? You're never ready for your first kid. Let's be real. But it's the fact that now that my son has brought this woman into our family, and I've absolutely loved her to death, and I accept her, and she's given me my first granddaughter, and I'm excited about that. Also I want to be able to spend more time with my brothers and my mother and everybody else. We're all getting up there in age, so it's let's be real about this. We're getting up there in age, so time is getting limited. So I want to be able to spend more time with them. And eventually, and I want to expand that to everybody else. I want to be able to meet new people. I want to be able to have more associates and have more people I call friends. And I want to work on the friendships that I do have already. I want to help those friends. And I try my best to help those friends when I can. And I want to keep that moving forward. And finally, goals for the channel. Coming into this, I know it's not going to take off wild and crazy. It's a pipe dream that everybody on YouTube has, but that's not my goal in this. I would love to have the growth in it, maybe become something. Who knows? I doubt it, but maybe I can throw things into this channel that might actually help it grow. I have a few ideas kind of listed here that come springtime when the weather gets nice. I don't want to do it when it's cold. I'm a fair weather Indian. All right, you forgive me, but I hate being cold. But again, I want to have the growth. The other part of that is I wanted to, this is where I'm really struggling, stay focused. I need to find time to make content, and I want to make it entertaining as possible. I want to be as informative as possible. And sometimes that's just, it's hard to do, especially when I'm out with family. I don't want to be like holding a phone up to my face the entire time while I'm out hanging out with my family and my loved ones. But the other side of this, I want to stay consistent, and that's kind of why I'm doing this today, because I am not gonna lie. I didn't record anything this week. It's been a kind of a rough week, difficult to record. I can record me driving to work. I won't record me at work. And I can record myself driving home. That's not entertaining. I drive 2 hours to work. I drive 2 hours home every day. Sometimes I spend the night. Sometimes. I don't like being away from home. That's part of my relationship goals. I don't want to be away from home as much anymore. So moving forward, those are my goals. And if you watch this and have any other questions, please feel free to reach out, ask me. And I do want to make this a way to help myself along with helping others if need be. If I can, that's a better word for it. And and I apologize for the crappy week. This was kind of a last second, let's throw it together and put something up for this week. It is something I'm trying to, again, that consistency of at least get something up every week. And I think over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to work on other projects, which I did. I have another project that I worked on. I made some content for that won't see this channel, but I'll possibly link it. I don't know. It's weird. But ideally, like I said, I want to just stay consistent, stay focused on doing this. But I will leave you with, my hopes that you come back and watch the next episode, or anything else that might come in between. And again, I thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, share.